In this video, we're going to look at how to set up Google Analytics. Google Analytics is very useful for helping you track the number of visitors to your website, where they come from, what browser software they're using, what search terms they use to arrive at your website, and lots of other information. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Google Analytics by typing Analytics. Click the Analytics official website link and click Access Analytics. Now I've got a Gmail account here that I set up in a previous video. If you don't have a Gmail account, you will have to sign up for a Google account. So you can click the Create an Account Now or watch the Gmail account creation video and follow the steps in that. So I'm going to click Sign In. The first thing I see is this page here. Click Sign Up and we need to put in the website address. I'm just going to use the website address from the development server here. So I'm going to take out the HTTP because that's there already. So normally you would put in www.yourdomainname.com or .ie or .org, whatever your domain name is. I'm going to let it autofill. It's chosen to autofill that, so I'm going to leave that as it is. What you should do in the time zone, country, or territory is just set your location. I'm just going to look for Ireland and continue. And for the new account sign up, you've got to give them a last name and first name. I'll just give them John Doe because this is just a sample account, and selecting country or territory and pick Ireland and continue. We need to agree to the terms and conditions and then create new account. Now the first thing we see here on the left hand side, it asks us, do we want to track a single domain, lots of subdomains, or multiple top level domains? And by the third, what they mean is multiple different websites. What I'm going to do for the purpose of this video is I'm just going to pick a single domain, and it's given us some code here. So we can copy and paste all of this code. So I'm going to choose copy. And I need to go to my website and paste this code into the website. They suggest that you paste it into every page you want to track immediately before the closing /head tag. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'll show you how to embed this into your website in a number of different ways. So that's copied that into the clipboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a notepad window and just paste it in there to save. In this code, the important thing to note is this identifier. That identifier tells you which website that the code is on, and you can actually use that identifier in different plugins and in various different scripts rather than actually using the Google provided code. So just for people who are doing something different this side, I'm just going to show you can select these different options and see what it does. What it does here is it actually changes these values. The last thing is I want to track AdWord campaigns, and that's if you're going to use Google AdWords, which many of you may well be doing, which allows you to coordinate your analytics and your AdWords and share data between those accounts. I'm not going to enable this option for the moment as we don't have an AdWords account set up just for this test server. So now what I'm going to do is scroll down to the bottom of the page and click Save and Finish. And this is the main analytics page. So if we click on View Report, this is the main analytics dashboard. And because we haven't added the code to the site yet, there are 0 visits, 0 page views, 0 bounce rate, and the map is completely empty. Once we have a few visitors to these will start to fill up. By the way, analytics is not live. It updates after about 24 hours, so you won't actually see, if you do sign up for analytics and embed the code immediately, you won't start to see any visits appearing in your analytics until probably the next day. So while we're here in the dashboard, I'll just show you some of the basic features. You can set a date range here. So for example, I can click 1st of June to the 1st of July and click apply. And then what happens here, if we have visitors, it shows us a graph and literally going up and down like a sine wave, showing how many visitors we've had. The main things that will interest you, if you go to traffic sources, it'll show you where your traffic is coming from in terms of search engines, referring sites, direct traffic, AdWords, and any campaigns you've got set up. And the other interesting one is content, and content will allow you to show which of your pages on your website are the most popular pages, which pages people arrive the most often on, the landing pages, and which page people read last before leaving your site, which is the exit page. And then finally, the visitors gives you a lot of information about what browser they're using, what operating system, the colors, where they're from geographically, and other information like if they're mobile, how often they return, what language they have. So there's a lot of information specifically about your visitors there as well. So that's a very brief overview. We might go into analytics in a full account that has been in use for some time a little later, so you can see what it looks like in a real account. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to embed the code onto our website. So I'm on the home page of the website here, and I'm just going to do view page source. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you can see at the bottom of this page here, I'll just make that a bit bigger for you. At the bottom of the page here, before the /body/HTML tag, you can see that there is some space here between /div and then this hash page. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that code in there. In the dashboard, I'm going to go to appearance and then to editor, and here I'm going to look for footer.php in the menu on the right hand side. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the footer, and as you can see, the /body/HTML code is there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste the analytics code that Google gave us and update file. So now if I go back out to the home page and refresh, and if I now do view page source and scroll to the bottom, you can see that just before /body/HTML is the code from Google for analytics. So analytics is now embedded and live, and we may be able to confirm that if we go back to the dashboard in analytics settings, and it says tracking is still unknown, so it still hasn't detected because it's literally just gone live. So maybe if we refresh that and then refresh this page here, it still hasn't updated yet. So once you've set it up, probably the best thing to do is be patient, wait for it to update itself, give it a day or so, get on with something else on the site. Now I'm going to take out this code from here because what I've done is I've installed it manually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it, I'm going to save that, and I'm going to this time add the code in a different way using a plugin. So I'm going to go to plugins and add new, and I'm just going to search for analytics. The one that I've used before is Google Analytics for WordPress. So I'm going to click install and OK, and then activate plugin. So now we got to go and click select which analytics profile to track. So the first thing I'm going to do is click here to authenticate with Google, and this hasn't worked because it's trying to use selfassemblysites.com, which is not the site we were working on. We were working on dev2. So I'm going to click on back here. I'm going to click manually enter code, and what we're going to do is where should the code, tracking code, be placed? In the header, insert manually, If you do insert manually, you'll have to do what we did previously. So let's just pick in the header. One cool feature of this is that it allows us to track outbound clicks. So that's people leaving the website, what they're clicking on, and downloads. And then there's a bunch of advanced settings, which I'm not going to turn on here for the moment. So before we can click update, what we need to do is manually enter the UA code into this box. The UA code, if you look here, is this code here. That's your unique identifier code for Google Analytics. So I've pasted that in there, and let's just hit update analytics settings. So now if I go back out and refresh the site, and if I do view page source, and if I scroll down here, I can see there's Google Analytics code, and there is my ID. So that's how you install Google Analytics using a plugin.